Have you ever wondered why you're doing everything right, yet your life still feels stuck? You pray, you work hard, you treat people kindly, and still the doors haven't opened. Sometimes you look around and whisper, "God, did I miss something?" I understand that feeling. I've been exactly where you are standing at the crossroads of faith and doubt. There was a time I thought God had forgotten me. Everything around me was silent. Opportunities disappeared. People I once counted on were gone. But over the years, I learned something powerful. Silence doesn't mean absence. God hasn't abandoned you. He's preparing you. Many people pray for blessings, but few are willing to be trained for the blessing they ask for. Because to carry something great, you must become someone greater. God doesn't just want you to be wealthy, He wants you to be wise. He doesn't just want you to be successful, He wants you to have influence. And sometimes the road to abundance begins with isolation, pressure, and tears. If you're walking through a dry season right now, it's not punishment. It might be planting. Maybe God is sowing you, preparing you for a harvest so great you wouldn't believe it if He told you now. Maybe He's shaping you to become a millionaire in spirit, a person whose true wealth isn't measured in money, but in vision, faith, and the power to lift others up. I want you to pause for a moment and think about this. What if the hardship you're facing is actually the final test before your promotion? What if the loneliness you feel isn't a sign that you've been left behind, but that you've been set apart for something divine? Today I'm going to share with you 10 signs that God is silently preparing you so you no longer feel lost or discouraged, but know that He's working behind the scenes of your life. Because sometimes God doesn't send blessings through miracles. He sends them through process. And if you're in the middle of that process right now, you are exactly where you're meant to be. 10 signs. God is silently preparing you for something greater. 1. You enter a season of isolation and silence. When God begins a great work in your life, the first thing He often does is pull you away from the crowd, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You'll notice the people who used to be close start to drift away. The calls stop coming. Invitations fade. You'll feel forgotten. But in truth, this is the time when God is taking you into the inner training room. In the silence, you begin to hear the voice within more clearly. You start to distinguish the noise of the world from the whisper of the Spirit. And it's in this place of isolation that you learn one of life's greatest truths. Not everyone is meant to go with you to the finish line. Loneliness isn't punishment. It's a sacred separation, a divine reset where you mature, realign, and get ready for a greater assignment. 2. You start living with order and discipline. One clear sign that God is preparing you for a higher level is the growing urge to bring order to your life. You want to wake up earlier. You want to manage your money. You want to read more. You want to take care of your health. God doesn't bless chaos, He blesses preparation. He cannot give great responsibility to someone who cannot yet handle small ones. After working with hundreds of people in their 50s and 60s, I've learned this truth. Discipline is the bridge between prayer and success. Prayer opens the door, but discipline is what helps you walk through it. If you feel a stirring inside to restructure your habits, your routines, or your priorities, don't ignore it. That's God rebuilding you from the inside out. 3. Pressure increases, but you see it as training, not punishment. I used to think my hardest years were the times God was silent. But later, I realized He wasn't silent. He was shaping me. Just as diamonds are formed under immense pressure, so are spiritually strong people formed through adversity. Without testing, you'd never know how strong your faith really is. When God wants you to grow, He doesn't give you comfort. He gives you classrooms. Pressure doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to expand you, to stretch your capacity, so that when blessings arrive, you're strong enough to hold them. If you're in a season of testing, remember, pressure doesn't make you weaker. It reveals your true strength. 4. You feel restless with an ordinary life. One day you wake up and say, "I can't keep living like this." The job that once felt stable now feels suffocating. The relationships that once felt comfortable now feel draining. Don't be afraid of that feeling. It's not a crisis, it's a divine stirring. God makes you restless with mediocrity because He's calling you to something higher. You no longer want to just exist, you want to matter. And when you begin asking, "What was I born to do?" that's the moment your true transformation begins. 5. New ideas and divine vision start to flow. As you start hearing God more clearly, you'll notice new ideas, visions, and dreams begin to flood your mind. They seem too big, too bold, even impossible. And that's how you'll know they didn't come from you. God doesn't give you a vision that fits your ability. He gives you one that fits His power within you. These God ideas aren't just for profit, they're for purpose. They're not meant only to make you successful, but to make you significant, to touch lives. If you find yourself filled with inspiration lately, cherish it. That's not coincidence. That's the beginning of a calling. 6. You start attracting new relationships and opportunities. When God prepares you, He also prepares the people who will walk with you. These are your destiny helpers, people who show up at just the right time, not to flatter you, but to challenge you, open doors for you, and help you grow. Some of them won't stay forever, and that's okay. They're not meant to stay. They're meant to serve a purpose. God uses people as bridges to take you to greater influence. And when you're ready, He'll place you among those who share your vision, your faith, and your mission. 7. You feel a strong desire to serve and leave a legacy. At some point, you realize success is no longer enough. You don't just want to make money, you want to make an impact. You want to leave something behind that outlives your name. That's legacy. You stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" God didn't call you just to live comfortably. He called you to become a channel of blessing. Through you, others will be lifted, healed, and inspired. And in that act of serving, you'll discover what true wealth really means. 8. You learn to let go of the past and forgive deeply. No one can step into a new season while carrying the weight of the old one. God cannot pour new blessings into a heart still full of bitterness. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting that the past no longer defines you. Forgiveness doesn't mean saying they were right. It means saying, "I deserve peace." Many people pray for blessings, but their hearts are still bleeding. God must heal you before He can promote you. When you truly forgive, you unlock a new level of freedom and joy you never thought possible. 9. You detach from the need for approval. One of the hardest lessons God ever taught me was to stop living for the approval of people. As He raises you up, He'll let you go through moments where recognition disappears, where applause fades, so you learn that your worth doesn't depend on who's watching, but on who sent you. He cannot allow you to be controlled by opinions when you are called to lead others. You begin to understand, I don't need anyone to believe in me as long as I believe what God says about me. That freedom is spiritual strength. You stop seeking validation and start living from divine confirmation. 10. You gain a clearer vision for the next chapter of your life. Whether you're 40, 50, or 60, you realize God isn't finished with you yet. He doesn't count the years you've lived. He counts the lives you've touched. When you look back, you'll see every pain, every failure, every person you've met was a piece of a larger puzzle, the puzzle of your purpose. At this stage, you stop rushing. You move with peace because you know you're walking in alignment. You understand that everything before this was just preparation for what's coming next. You're not being buried, you're being planted. And when a seed is planted, it must spend some time in the dark before it reaches the light. So if your life right now feels silent, lonely, or uncertain, smile. It doesn't mean God is silent. It means He's working in the quiet, behind the scenes, preparing you to become not just a receiver of blessings, but a keeper of them. Believe this. What you're facing today is not the end of your story. It's the prelude to your greatest chapter yet. And when the time comes, God will do in a few months what you've been waiting for your whole life. If you're still listening right now, I want you to know something. You're not here by accident. There are no coincidences on the journey of faith. God brought you to this video, to these very words, because He wants you to hear something deeply personal. You're not late. You're not forgotten, and you are certainly not left behind. Many people think that when a door closes, the journey is over. But I've learned something different sometimes. God closes a few doors so you won't go back to places that no longer belong to you. Sometimes He makes you pause not to punish you, but to protect you from something that isn't ready to receive you yet. I've met many people in their 50s and 60s who told me, I feel like I've wasted so many years. But you know what? In God's world, nothing is ever wasted. Every scar, every fall, every tear, they are all ingredients for the mission He's shaping within you. You might not see the results right now. Maybe you're walking through a desert where everything feels silent and empty. But the desert isn't the end. The desert is where God trains His warriors. He's teaching you patience, teaching you to trust, teaching you to walk by faith, not by feelings. Remember this. A tree only begins to bloom when its roots grow deep. You are in your rooting season. And when your season of blooming comes, you won't have to prove anything because your results will speak for you. I want you to ask yourself one question. What if the challenges you face today aren't meant to break you, but but to build you. What if this silence isn't the absence of God, but His quiet presence working behind the scenes? Would you still be afraid the way you were before? Look back at your journey. How many times did you think you were finished, yet somehow you stood up again? How many times did you lose everything, yet faith still remained? That's not coincidence. That's proof you've been held in His hands all along. Now let me tell you something. As someone who's lived long enough to understand, life isn't about running faster than others. It's about learning when to stop and listen to the voice of God speaking to you. If you're feeling tired today, don't blame yourself. God is still there right in the middle of the chaos, in those sleepless nights when your heart feels heavy. And He's whispering gently, "I'm not done with you yet. Trust me a little longer." And when you see the signs I shared in this video, don't take them lightly. Each sign is a step on the divine staircase, bringing you closer to the person God created you to become. You may only see scattered puzzle pieces right now, but He already sees the whole picture. I want you to do something small after this video ends. Take a few minutes. Turn off the noise. Silence your phone. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, "God, what are you trying to teach me in this season?" When you ask with a sincere heart, He will answer not with a voice from the outside, but with peace that rises quietly within. And in that peace, you'll know everything is unfolding in His perfect plan. If my words touched you today, leave me just one comment below. I'm in my season of preparation, and I will stay faithful. That sentence isn't just a confirmation for me, it's a commitment to your own soul. And if you believe someone out there needs to hear this too, share this video with them. Because who knows, one simple click from you today might pull someone else out of despair without you even knowing it. And if this is your first time here, I want to personally invite you to stay. Click subscribe, turn on the bell, because every week I share practical lessons, real stories, and honest reflections to help you live with more purpose, strength, and peace. This isn't just a YouTube channel, it's a community of people learning to trust their journey. No one here is perfect, but together we're growing closer to wholeness every single day. And before this video ends, I want you to remember one final truth. God is never late. He's simply waiting for you to be ready for what He's already prepared. Believe that your time is coming. Hold on to faith, hold on to gratitude, and keep walking. Because the very thing you're praying for today might be the miracle God is about to release tomorrow.